Good morning Year 6 and happy Thursday. Welcome to today's arithmetic tutorial. Now to get the most from this video, I recommend that you've already had a go at answering the questions and that you're using this video to review your methods and strategies. It's also really useful to work through the questions with me as I go along to spot any errors that you made in your calculation and to be able to spend some time editing those errors so that next time you have to answer a question that is similar, you'll know what to do. Okay, let's start with question number 1 then. 176,951 subtract 17,572. Now I've set up the formal column method of subtraction here, and I've been really careful to line up the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands and the 10,000s in line with each other. If I don't get that part right, it's going to mean the rest of my calculation is incorrect. So do take your time to check the place value of the digits and that you're lining them up accurately. Now, where do we always start with a subtraction, Year 6? You're right, we're going to start with 1 subtract 2. Okay, if I did that, it'd be a negative number, so that's not going to be helpful. And I'm going to exchange. So I've got a 10 here now. 11 subtract 2, which is 9. 4 subtract 7, again, I need to exchange and bring a 10 across. 14 subtract 7 is 7. 8 subtract 5 is 3. 6 subtract 7, again I'm going to need to exchange and bring a 10 across. 16 subtract 7 is 9. 6 subtract 1 is 5. And 1 subtract nothing is 1. Hopefully you're in agreement then Year 6, and you can give your work a tick. If you need to pause the video and review a calculation, please do that now. Okay, question number 2 then. We've got 4,680 divided by 15. Okay, so I've set up my formal method. I'm going to use the bus stop method today. I'm going to start by thinking, how many times does 15 go into 4 equally? Well, it doesn't. And I'm going to exchange my 4 and bring it across here. So I'm thinking 15 into 46. Well, I know that 15 times 2 is 30. And therefore, I could work out 15 times 3 quite easily because all I've got to do is add another 15 on. Okay, so 30 add 15 is 45. That's as close as I can get to 46. So 15 goes equally into 46 3 times with 1 remainder. So now we're thinking 15 into 18. Well, that goes once with a remainder of, well done everybody, a remainder of 3. If we count on from 15, 16, 17, 18, we have a remainder of 3. Now I'm thinking 15 into 30. Well, I know that goes twice exactly. So our answer is 312. Again, if you've got that one right, give it a little tick. If you need to review your learning, pause the video now. Okay, question number 3 then. So we're multiplying fractions. We've got 7/3 multiplied by 2/9. When we are multiplying, do we need to convert the fractions before we begin? No, the fractions can stay as they are. So I start with the numerator. 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. And then I look at the denominators. 3 times 9 is 27. At this point, Year 6, there's a question that we ask ourselves. Can we simplify? I'm going to be looking at your class dojo today to see the decision you've made. Can you simplify? If you think you can, have a go. If you don't think you can, leave your fraction as it is. I'll be having a look on class dojo later. Okay, question number 4 then. We've got a mixed operation question. That means there's more than one calculation in our number sentence. Can anybody remember the acronym that we use to help us decide in which order we should do these calculations? Well done to everybody at home or at school who was thinking BODMAS. Now BODMAS is going to help us decide which order to do these calculations in. Now B stands for, well remembered, brackets. So I've got to do anything in the brackets first. So 12 divided by 4 is 3, and I'm going to jot that down so I don't forget. Have we got any other? Now remember, other at primary school is squared or cube numbers. No, I haven't. Do we have any division to do? Well, I've already done the division as part of the brackets. Do we have any multiplication? We do. We have to do this part next. 7 multiplied by 5. So 7 times 5 is 35. I'm going to jot that down so I don't forget. Do I need to do any addition? Yes, we've got the addition symbol in the middle here. So I'm now going to need to add 3 to 35. So 3 add 35 is 38. So I'm going to jot that down. That's the addition. I'm going to check there's no subtraction to do. There isn't. So I know my answer is 38. Give that one a tick if you've got it. If you need to review your learning, pause the video now. Okay, so then question number 5. Let's extend the page a little bit so we can make some room. Question number 5. We have 3,235 multiplied by 24. And we should be experts at this one now, year 6, feeling secretly confident. Okay, let's make a start then. So where do we need to start, year 6? We're going to start with 5 times 4, which is 20. And then we can go to 3 times 4, which is 12. Add the 2 you've carried, 14. 2 times 4 is 8. Add the 1 you've carried, 9. And 3 times 4 is 12. So we've multiplied everything by the 4 in the ones column. So I need to put my 0 here to represent that we are now moving over into the tens, and this 2 is 20. So we're doing 2 times 5, which is 10. 2 times 3, which is 6. Add the 1 you've carried, 7. 2 times 2 is 4. And 3 times 2 is 6. Well done everybody who's joining in and following along. Okay, now we need to add our 2 amounts together. 0 and 0 is 0. 4 and 0 is 4. 9 and 7 is 16. 2 and 4 and 1 is 7. And 6 and 1 is 7. Hopefully you're in agreement then, year 6, that our answer is 77,640. If you've got that one, give it a neat little tick. If you need to review your learning, pause the video now. And that brings us to today's flashback. So question number 1, work out the missing angle. Okay, so let's see what information we've got here. I can see that there is a straight line at the bottom, and I know that a straight line, the angles on a straight line total 180 degrees. That is their total that they must make. Now I can see there are 2 angles on this straight line. One is slightly smaller, well, one is smaller than the other, and it is 57 degrees. And the second angle is larger. I can see already that it's a bigger angle. It's angle A, and I don't know what that measures. So how can I find this missing amount, Year 6? What do I need to do? Brilliant. We know that if I was to add something, add 57 would equal 180. So I need to use the inverse method, or the inverse of addition, which is subtraction, to find the missing amount. Some of you may feel confident enough to do that as a mental method. Others of you may want to use a jotting. So 0 subtract 7, we need to exchange. 10 subtract 7 is 3, well done. 7 subtract 5 is 2. And 1 subtract nothing is 1. So we know our missing angle angle A is 123 degrees. Well, let's just have a look here and check that that makes sense. I know a right angle would look like this at 90 degrees, and the angle is larger than a right angle, so that would be an appropriate answer. So if you've got that one, give it a tick. If you need to review your learning, please pause the video. Okay, question number 2 then. The parallelogram, which you can see here, is enlarged. So what does enlarged mean, Year 6? That's right, it's got bigger by a scale factor of 4. How long are the sides of the new parallelogram? Well, I know if it's enlarged by a scale factor of 4, then that is 4 times larger. So that means I'd have to multiply each side by 4. Now I know 5 times 4 is, well done, 20. So the side of my new parallelogram here would be 20 centimetres. Now I've got to work out this length. I'd have to do 15 times 4. It's a scale factor of 4, 4 times larger. Now I can do that mentally because I know that 10 times 4 is 40, and I know 5 times 4 is 20. And if I add those two amounts together, I get 60. So 60 centimetres. Okay, let's have a look at question number 3 then. We've got to write down a unit you would use to measure area. Okay, I've got a square here so that we can remind ourselves of what area is. So area is the space inside of a shape. Okay, so I can look at this square and I can see that this side is 2 centimetres. Okay, I'm assuming that these squares on my screen are centimetre squares. And this length, this side, is also 2 centimetres. Now to find the area, I have to multiply those lengths. So 2 times 2 is 4 centimetres. And we say it is centimetres squared because I've multiplied the lengths together. Now these lengths may have been metres, in which case it would have been metres squared. If we were talking about a distance that the car had travelled, it may well be kilometres squared. But the key is that area involves the squared measurement. Okay, let's have a look at question number 4 then. So number 4, I'm assuming that most people would probably have felt most comfortable using the column method. Some of you may have had a mental method, which we can look at in a moment. Okay, so we've got 5.3 multiplied by 7. So I'm going to start over here. 3 times 7 is 21. At this point, I need to put my decimal point in. And 5 times 7 is 35. Add the 2 you've carried is 37. Okay, so that's the formal method, but you could do this mentally if you wanted to. Now, to do this mentally, you could think, well, I know 5.3 times 10 is 53. And I could multiply 53 by 7. Again, I could do some jotting, so I could do that mentally. And I would get the answer 371. Now, because I multiplied to remove the decimal, I'd have to divide to put the decimal back in. So 37.1. Okay, that concludes then today's arithmetic. Please share your learning with me on Class Dojo, and I can't wait to see how you've got on Year 6.